Now, Valve just went ahead and dropped one of the biggest updates we've seen in a long time when it comes to impacting trading and investing and such. But first up, we want to focus on the one other change that came with this update, and that's going to be the impact to the map pool. Now, if you didn't notice, because it's not too popular to look at, Overpass is now finally back in, and we see Anubis is actually out. Very interesting. Obviously, Anubis was on the lower end of one of these maps played, but the souvenir package for Anubis is a little bit interesting. That's because we've got the Anubis package collection along with the souvenir package. Now, this one does kind of create some issues because usually we see the package that gets removed shoot up in price, but because we have that Anubis collection package still available, I actually don't think there's going to be too much impact coming from this, which is really unfortunate. Usually it's a pretty safe fire way to redeem your tokens in a way that's not going to lose value. Unfortunately here, it doesn't seem like that's guaranteed to be the case because that Anubis package that's $2 is still going to be sticking around in the shop. It shot up in price a little bit, but it's going to lose all that value once again. Unfortunate situation, but Overpass is now in, and we're going to be receiving that package in the next CS2 Major. Skinland is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free $10 on your first trade. It's where I personally sell my skins because you're going to be getting the highest rate out there. They're offering a maximum amount of money in a minimum amount of time, and it's going to be nearly instant with tons of different payout options. Combine that with their massive marketplace where you're going to be able to buy anything in the entire game you're looking for with a ton of different deposit options here as well. Right now, this is the #1 place to go ahead and sell or buy skins in my personal opinion, so go ahead, use code MasterShiny and check them out today. Now let's talk about the most obvious thing that's coming from this, and that's going to be the impact of a 7-day potential reversal of trades. Now obviously this is a pretty massive change that's going to impact all aspects of the market. Now the good news is investing is the least impacted out of all of these. The really only downside is going to be coming from the fact that you can now only have 1,000 items in your inventory, and that includes items that are in the 7-day reversal period. So if you're trying to sell 1,000 cases, it's going to be near impossible to find someone that can take on that inventory in the exact moment. With that being said, investing is still in a very strong position and actually could be a lot stronger because of this, which we'll focus on in a quick second. Now there is some downsides. Obviously you're not going to be able to instant sell your items anymore just because you do have that reversal period. It's a lot of small impacts, but overall the market is in a really strong position, and this is not something that's going to absolutely be detrimental to the future. It really just slows down everything by 7 days, which is going to have very detrimental impacts on some people such as your cash traders, but for investing and for us over here, honestly I don't think it's actually that bad, and it could be something that's a little bit more beneficial in the future, which we'll break down. Now a lot of people have really been looking at what's going on and wondering if it's going to cause a market crash. In fact, we're already seeing some case prices be down a little bit in the past couple of days, potentially 10, maybe even 15% on the larger end, but honestly something like this is going to be very short-lived in my honest opinion. Cases are the strongest asset in the game, and this update just made them that much stronger. That's because right now buying cases in bulk is really hard to do, which is actually really good for people that already have case investments. They got in ahead of this curve. Whenever you buy a case right now, you can't move it to a storage unit for 7 days unless you buy off the Steam community market, and the Steam community market usually has inflated prices. It's not a cash price. This is really good for case investors because this is something that's going to be impacting them moving forward. And if we want to look at the case market being down a little bit because of this update, that's just people being scared, and honestly there's every reason to be scared. Valve is in a position where they could destroy investments overnight, but it doesn't make sense for them to do so. This update just transitions a lot of that outside influence back to Steam. They're going to be making more money because of this. Potentially people are going to be getting less scammed, and when we're talking about these prices, they are down in the short term right now, but they're going to be rebounding moving forward in my honest opinion, almost guaranteed. Now why is an update like this potentially really good for investing? Well, that's because the case market just got significantly harder to enter, which is actually really good for people that are already established inside of said case market. That's because you're going to be able to buy a maximum of 1,000 cases a week right now. Whether it's a third-party site, whether it's just trading from your friend, it doesn't matter because you can't move those items into a storage unit. Unless, like we mentioned, you're buying from the Steam community market, in which case you're paying an inflated price unless you've already got Steam funds. Which means investing into tens of thousands of cases is significantly more inconvenient, which means the people that have already invested into these cases are probably going to be seeing less competition coming in. Now obviously people are not going to stop investing into cases, but it's going to be a position now where case investing is significantly harder to enter, which is really good for these case prices moving forward. And to realize why, we have to look at the two reasons as to why a case price goes up. First up, we have someone investing into said case, which in the short term is going to push that case price up because the demand is definitely there. But the second and most important one is going to be when someone unboxes a case. That case is deleted forever, and that's exactly what we want as investors. Right now, the people in the first category just got a lot harder to do. People in the second category remain the same, which is really good because that's what we want to encourage, because that's what makes us the money as case investors at the end of the day when these cases get deleted and the supply becomes much more valuable. Now, what should you be doing right now, first up, hands down, I would definitely say if you want some investments, right now could be a very optimal time. If we're seeing a little bit of pullback in prices, honestly, these assets get significantly stronger, and I don't think the majority of people have really realized the optimality of what's really happened here. Cases just get so much better, and people are really scared at the market overall. To really focus in on that, it could be a huge opportunity to get in on some investments you've been waiting. I honestly, when we look at the rare case market, most of these cases really don't see a period where they're going to be creeping back down in price, at least significantly in my personal opinion. And if we want to look at the long term of these assets specifically, we can see that these cases are in extremely high demand, and this update actually plays very little impact into that demand said right there. It's going to be slightly harder to open cases, don't get me wrong, but not anywhere close to what's going to be a strong, impactful moving forward. I honestly really like the situation we're in right now. If we want to look at unboxing numbers, they're probably going to fall maybe 10-15% in the short term here. They'll probably level out a little bit more over time, but honestly, something like that doesn't really impact the fundamental structure of what we're seeing for the rare case market. Things are phenomenal right now, and it's something I would highly suggest you maybe capitalize on a little bit of these lower prices if you want to get in on these assets. Now, when it comes to that question of should you be selling inside of this update, I honestly don't see a real reason to. In my previous video, I sold off some stagnant investments because I wanted the assets elsewhere, but honestly, because of this update specifically, doesn't make a lot of sense to me. There's no reason to panic sell, especially when you're going to be selling for maybe 20% less than the asset was worth just a couple days ago. Doesn't make sense to me, and honestly, in the future, I think these items are going to be very strong because of this update. This is just a very slight pullback, and look at the long history of CS2 investing. There's tons of setbacks inside of it, and every single time the market has come out stronger. Now, talking about what we're seeing for the Armory right now, things are still going crazy in terms of ROI for the sticker collections. These ones have definitely shown they are the front runners inside this area. Obviously, if you want to look at the new Armory, the XM1014 is gone, but everything else remains the same. I honestly don't think there's a ton of aspect for reason to invest into this area right now outside of potentially the stickers, but even so, these items have definitely shown they're going to be sticking around for a while, and I don't think we're going to be receiving any Armory update in the near future. However, the one area that seems like it's getting to the point of an update is going to be the Austin Major capsules. Obviously, we have not seen that major sale just yet, but the Contenders capsule has actually been creeping up in ROI. It's back to nearly 200% ROI if the sale were to drop today. Challenger's actually close behind it as well. Both of these do offer profit opportunity when that sale drops right now if you can unbox them right away and sell them before everyone else. However, inside of the rest of this area, things have not been looking too stellar, looking rather average for a major investment in this area. I definitely will not be making any investments because this is going to be sticking around forever in terms of a sale, but they are getting close to most likely that sale coming out. Now, what should you be watching right now? First up, I'm definitely interested in the case market to see how quickly we are going to rebound or if we're going to be keeping on dropping. If we drop a little bit more, I could be buying up some more cases because I think they're in a very strong position. Watch the unboxing numbers, see if there's any impact there, but that's pretty much all I got. Well, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.